Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 515.
515.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. The owner, Becky, and some of her agents are currently experiencing the new Utopia of the Seas, which is a Royal Caribbean ship, the newest one. Looks really great.
It's amazing.
But I know they also will be tuning in when the Disney Destiny ship reveals begin on July 30th. That happens for 3 days.
It's a week from today. 3 days of finding
reveals,
out. Yes,
yeah.
reveals.
So that is a heroes and villain theme. So we will find more out at that time.
Plus, we just received a giant box from Disney Cruise Line, and it seems to have right on the top of it Disney Destiny. So I'm looking forward to going through that. We'll probably do a unboxing of such a thing.
Either on YouTube or on Facebook. We'll figure it all out.
Stay tuned.
Yes. And make sure to head to MEI and Mouse Fan Travel to get a no obligation quote. They are cruise specialists, Disney specialists, Universal specialists. We're talking about Universal Studios today.
Speaking of Universal.
What a beautiful day that was when we went. It's been quite some time now. We've been so busy to do this show.
But we've been talking about it. If anyone made it all the way through our previous shows to the ending, we've been talking about finally doing this show on DreamWorks Land. We actually really enjoyed DreamWorks Land, and we're going to talk about it right now. We're going to kind of go in order of what you would see if you would walk into DreamWorks Land. It starts off on the left here with a meet and greet.
Well, this is Gabby from Gabby's Dollhouse. You can have also, there's like two areas here. You've got the Gabby's Dollhouse area, but then you've got the DreamWorks area. And here we're meeting Puss in Boots, although it's not always Puss in Boots. Like, we saw also one of the penguins had been here.
Right. Various characters. Anyone can meet there, really.
Right. So, there's various characters that you will see throughout DreamWorks Land, which had opened June 14th was the official opening date.
Now, I must say, Mr. Puss in Boots here, very energetic with his sword and everything on this day. It was hot, too. I was impressed by his moves.
There's not a lot of shade there. He's got a little shade, but it also
that is the one issue.
Not much.
You're right. Just like a lot of lands when they opened.
The whole land needs a little more shade.
Swamp snacks. We did pick up a snack, a Shreksel, and also it had some little green cheese sauce. We aren't even dignifying showing that because it was not the best accompaniment.
Oh, was it not?
No.
I don't eat that type of stuff.
I would recommend just the Shreksel. Shreksel.
And here we met Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey. Now, it was just, you don't always get all three.
Right.
So, like, if you see all three, definitely get in line because we also met just two of them earlier.
Just Shrek and Donkey earlier, so... yeah, she's has a little problem there.
She was a lot of fun. So,
and here we go. We're going to show Shrek his namesake Shreksel there. He seemed very impressed. I believe we're going to show it to Donkey and Fiona as well.
And we are outside Shrek's cottage. In the past, we've met the Shrek characters. They used to be near the former Amex lounge.
Right. Nowhere near
Not here. So this used to be Woody Woodpecker's Kid Zone. So now it is DreamWorks Land.
I must say, though, this is a lot of fun. Well worth it. Not a huge wait. I think we waited about 20 minutes. And again, to get all three characters, it was well worth the wait.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed this, and Fiona especially was a lot of fun.
So let's move on. We're going to see our next little piece here once we say goodbye to the characters.
And we're still at Shrek Swamp because we were just at Shrek Swamp meet with... with the Shrek characters.
We're truly going in order of what you would see if you walk into the land. So that would be the next thing is Shrek's Swamp on the right.
And they call this Shrek's Swamp for little ogres. But there weren't very many little ogres on this day. So it was mostly big ogres.
Lots of big ogres.
And we were all allowed up there. And I don't know if that's the case right now. But we had fun.
And full-size big ogres were allowed to go down the Shrek's slide as well, which... I wouldn't always recommend that.
Well, and I don't know if that's always the case. We're planning to go back. The weather has not cooperated. We've been wanting to go see the parade.
Right.
But every time we want to go, it
rains.
is not only rains, it's like,
major
storming.
thunder with hail and all this.
6 p.m. is not the best time for a parade.
But I really want to see the mega, what is it? The
mega
movie,
Universal Mega Movie Parade.
It looks amazing. I can't wait to see it. I just, cross our fingers. One of these days when we're available, 6 o'clock will be non-rainy.
Hopefully. Well, this weekend we're going to try again. And here is Pinocchio, and he is telling little white lies. That's what Universal says, they're white lies.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. I would recommend kind of hanging out and listening to him. He has a lot of different things. He's a great welcome to this little area.
And this area reminds me sort of Disney California Adventure, except that when you go into the outhouse, it makes noises.
Oh boy,
when you
it
go
doesn't
down the
make
slide.
noises,
And you
alright.
did not go down the slide.
Somebody had a very upset stomach, I think, in
Maybe it was
that
Guy
slide.
Diamond.
It must be, I think Guy Diamond had just gone down it. But he left some noises for us.
And also, like you can see here, I mentioned like shade. It would be really nice. There's a lot of, pavement
I think
going on.
just like any
I hope
new area,
so.
it'll probably grow in. This is great, by the way, seeing a overview. We're kind of looking down and getting a great overview of the land there.
Are we going to, like you can squirt water from
Yes,
up here onto guests below.
And we're also going to do that. It was very hot. There was a guest, I think, who is welcoming that fun.
And you can see it's not only on this day, and this was a pass holder preview before the official opening. It wasn't only that there weren't many little ogres. There weren't many ogres of any size when we were there. We went early, which was actually great because it was getting busier later in the day.
Right. We did a rope drop first thing in the morning, and you could see there's a little squirting going on down there.
And I think rope drop, anytime you can do a rope drop, usually it's not so busy a lot of the time. So for like Universal, maybe like families go after school and such. It's sort of like going to Disneyland. So
If you do get squirted, you have the ogre dryer.
You have to pay.
Yeah, you do have to pay. You'll be seeing another dryer, and they weren't in use at all when we were here. But I would imagine if you got totally fully soaked, you would be wanting to maybe use that thing.
I don't know. And so we also have the frogs. I forgot to write down the name of these.
I also don't know the name of these, but if you
they're fun, right?
Let's just say if you step on these little lily pads, they will make croaking noises for you. I was going to say they croak, but that sounds bad.
They're like a symphony.
Yes.
So it's like a frog symphony, which may even be the name. But really, this was one of the first things I actually did in the land, and I thought it was very cute.
Yeah, it was very cute, and especially it was even better when you had more guests because then all the frogs would be in full force.
Mm-hmm. And so here is Kitty Soft Paws, and we are in front of Mama Luna Feline Fiesta, which is a big name. But Kitty Soft Paws was very fun in that. I guess Kitty Soft Paws had nothing to do.
It will never be as good again for me. It was so much fun, unexpected. When I'm showing all this, trying all the the various interactive elements, and here comes Kitty herself to actually play. It was really an unexpected and fun surprise, and I wouldn't expect this on a daily basis.
And I did not play with this game, but it's play with hundreds of cats. There I am.
A little cameo in the back there.
You're playing with hundreds of cats on a digital screen using bells, buttons, and maracas. And also, I guess, Puss in Boots will, appear every so often. Maybe that's why Kitty Soft Paws is here.
Kitty's seeing her friends. She keeps pointing to all her various friends all around.
It wasn't so busy at all on this day because it was a preview.
Right.
So, that was really super cute,
magical,
interactive
fun,
there.
Fun little element in there is we're going to say goodbye to Miss Soft Paws there.
I felt like she kept following us around a little bit, but she didn't have a line. So there is also this High Five Hideaway, which has really it's small and has some merchandise, but you can find merchandise also. Like at the big shop.
Right. I mean, this was sort of the merchandise location for this area. But again, as you mentioned, there's plenty of merchandise to be found throughout the park.
Right. So especially once you go to the big store and there's all the different, it's like all the different lands have various merchandise, like Despicable Me, the Minion Land and such.
But take note of the bottles of Cokes and Diet Cokes and drinks. Those definitely will come in handy on these hot summer days because, as you said, it gets very hot there.
Shrek happens. That's what it says on there. Shrek happens.
Shrek does happen.
And while we're looking at this, I was just thinking how much I can't wait to do the VillainCon Minion Blast again because I love that attraction.
We've done it quite often, actually.
Right. When we go there, we try to, especially if there's no line, do it like a couple times. But after a while, the arms get a little tired.
Yes.
So we were just looking at the troll, I think it was Trolls Treats. We did not order anything, so I have not much to say about
But
this.
I am.
But it's here.
I'm showing them because
Ice
they're
cream and
yes,
such.
the Poppylicious pink here. I think it's
Pink
very
lemonade.
interesting. The various ice creams.
Pink lemonade soft serve with flour sprinkles. And we also have...
We're about to see.
I know, I'm just looking here, the Huckleberry.
Berry. Oh, Huckleberry.
Huckleberry
that sounds good.
soft serve with green leaf sprinkles. Actually, that does sound pretty good. But we didn't have it on this day. It was hot.
Well,
I think,
we are very spoiled because here in Florida we have
So many.
an amazing place called Twisty Treat.
If we get ice cream, it's often
And we
from
just
there.
recently had a Twisty Treat, so it is the finest in this area.
So then we rode Trolls Trollercoaster, which I thought was very cute, and the Caterpillar Catterbus on this family-friendly... You're riding the Caterpillar Catterbus on this family-friendly coaster, and ghosts are trying to make an escape from spooky spiders, which you can see. And, that was something that we noticed before the attraction even opened, was the little spiders
It's interesting
up there.
you read that official. I had no idea there was anything involving ghostly spiders.
No, you saw the
I
spiders.
saw the
We've seen
spiders, but I
spid-
didn't think they were ghostly.
Well, that's what it says, that they're
I've
ghostly.
learned I should have read it before I wrote it.
So, but I just thought this was a very fun family attraction.
Yes.
And definitely would recommend, for families.
And we did each get a chance to ride this.
Yeah.
There was no recording, unfortunately. I don't think they allow recording on it at all. So I was able to kind of record various areas of it happening, but just not from inside.
Right. And I rode separate from you, and I don't remember why
I think because we had, as usual, a lot of stuff.
That
and
is an issue.
I held all the stuff, and you went and rode with ease.
And that's probably
that's what
why.
it definitely was.
I travel with a big backpack and my big camera.
Full SLR digital camera.
Yes, so that probably is it.
Yep, I remember.
And that's
what
why
it
I
was.
don't ride Crush's coasters often at Disneyland Paris either.
And this is no Crush's coaster. I mean, this
No,
is truly
this
a
was
kid
easier.
family
It's a lot
coaster,
easier.
which anybody could ride that one. Now, a very, very quick look at Poppy's Playground. This is for little kids.
Right, there are tiny mushroom swings in the midst of troll flowers. So, this is truly for young,
Very little.
not ogres,
Yes.
trolls, or whatever. But really, this is super cute. And, I think there isn't a lot of this type of thing in the land. There's a
Right.
lot of water play areas, but I think this was something
And you just
needed.
saw that area completely empty, and that's because we truly rope dropped it, because I knew that place would be packed with kids, and it was pretty much all the time.
But, not as bad early because of the not so many little ogres.
Hey, let's
but-
not miss this. It is Guy Diamond here, Mr. Diamond. I would never forget the first time we saw him,
Oh,
his
my
first
word.
appearance. He had a lot of, let's say, sparkling
You know what?
effects going on
So-
for Mr. Diamond.
No, you know what? And because we posted it in this way and attractions did in others.
Everyone expects it to happen.
He farted glitter, which he doesn't do anymore. Like glitter would come out of his butt. So that doesn't happen anymore.
Entertainment at its finest. At least, don't be sad
so weird.
that you don't see it. Be happy that you did see it.
Be
at
sad
one
that
time.
be sad that it's over, because that is something that
Mr.
guests don't get to
Diamond
see
needs
anymore.
a refill, I think.
They probably needed. It was probably a pain to clean up all the glitter.
All right, so let's not forget this is actually a very nice show. It's a new show, the DreamWorks Imagination
Celebration.
now it's called. That's a different name.
And honestly, so they had a different type of show earlier.
And that was an ongoing show. It never ended. It was just kind of, you can come in, stay as long as you want. It wasn't really a start to finish show.
Right.
Where this, I think, this works better for me. It's an actual show with a beginning, middle, and end. You have segments. Everything is tied together. I prefer this than
Me
the
too.
previous.
I think it's a much better show. You come in and there's, it's like a story you've got the live singers, you've got the characters. I thought this was a really, really fun show for families to enjoy, and you're in air conditioning. And these days, right now, it's in the 90s every day.
Right.
So
and it rains
really,
a lot. So this is a great one. We talked to somebody just recently who, when it rained, it was a perfect place to go with their family to get out of the rain and see the show.
The only thing is, it would be nice for me if they had different characters, like you have the trolls, but you see the trolls a lot at Universal. It'd be nice to have a little bit of more variety in characters.
Well, you're getting all your, let's say, top line DreamWorks characters.
But like you have, the
had
Shrek
Shrek,
characters. Right? Like it would be nice to have just a little bit more variety in your characters. That's my idea.
I get it. Maybe there'll be a part 2 sometime
We'll
at
see.
some point. Overall, though, I would give it a thumbs up for me. I did enjoy the show very much.
Surprisingly, I did too. Like a lot. I just thought it was fun.
And I know I mentioned earlier it's not continuous. There are show times, and they usually are every hour to hour and 15 minutes or so for the next show.
Right. So it's pretty often.
And go ahead. I know you have it written down. What are the various segments again?
Well, it includes Kung Fu Panda, Trolls, and Shrek. So
And make sure you look at there's like screens that are kind of part of the story. Sometimes it's behind you. So there could be a character talking on the screen behind you. And I didn't realize that right away. So you need to turn fully around because that character will come around and then eventually maybe interact with something on the screen. Now it's time for Poe's Kung Fu Training Camp.
And in reality, this was one of the first things we did.
Yeah.
And there
the magic
was,
of editing.
Yes, and there was a little bits of things to do over here. Some fun, interactive. I think some of it was water and some of it wasn't. We didn't do too much of it, but like you've got the gong of resounding resonance or something like that.
Well, it wasn't fully turned on. Like the big bucket
it wasn't
up
all
there
working.
was not going at the time. This was, again, the very first preview day. But you could see the water behind here was going. You can get absolutely, completely drenched if you really want to in this area.
And we didn't.
We
so
did
we
not.
Didn't.
We didn't get a drop of water on us, actually.
And so I don't even know if we knew exactly what time it was happening at this time.
No, we had no idea what was going on. We were just kind of going
really
around for pictures and kind of the lay of the land at this point. Again, this was done very early on in our day.
And this was really cute. It's like these little. It reminds me of the playgrounds when I was a kid. The things
The ones that they say they can't
little...
believe we used to have them because back in our day, they were very dangerous when you would get on these little spinning things because these are very safe. But ours would be, you could fly off if you're not holding on. Remember those little...
I do remember those.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I didn't fly. I never flew off them. But I mean, obviously they've modified the
you actually sit in it now.
Right. They've modified the stuff that we used to use as a kid.
And now there is one water item I'm going to show, the Pond of Perpetual Wetness. That does not sound very good if you're trying to stay dry here. And you have the nice soft floors.
I am sure that right now, with it being so hot, that this would be very popular as I'm sure all the water play areas in this land.
Well, once again, this is why we did this early. I wanted to kind of show it without any other guests, especially kids. And I had mentioned before, this is that big bucket, the buckets, the huge bucket of water that would pour. As you can see, it wasn't running. Now it's time for Poe Live. Poe Live is really something I can compare to like the Crush
right.
show they have in Epcot and on the Disney Cruise Line also, where there's kind of interaction going on. And this time, Poe is the one interacting, and he's mainly talking to kids, and he's trying to teach kids the ways of Kung Fu.
Right. Poe is on a digital animated screen, and so, yeah, he's teaching you Kung Fu, but he's also babysitting for his cousin, who I think it was Ling Ling.
Yes.
And
they'll
also
make
making
appearance.
snacks and such. For me, as an adult, it's not very engaging.
Right.
But the kids seem to love it. So that's who
it's
totally
for.
who it's
100%.
for. And they seem to, all the kids in the area seem to really be enjoying it. I guess all of the little ogres, who made their way over.
Just be glad Mr. Poe didn't talk to you.
No,
you should
oh
be
my
thankful
gosh.
for those kids that got to talk to Poe.
No,
Because
that's
otherwise,
fine.
if it was just you would have had to interact with him. I know you would have loved that.
I don't want to be the rebel spy in Star Tours. I don't like to have a lot of...
You don't want to be on the spotlight, right?
No, I don't generally want to be in the spotlight. I think you have your moments, but not really too many for me.
So we're going to just let this run out. It's kind of self-explanatory. what did you think overall in the DreamWorks Land?
I think it's really nice for kids and families, and I think they should add a little shade and maybe another. It would be nice if they added maybe another regular playground in there. But otherwise, I thought there were some really fun elements to it.
Yeah, I think that especially with the characters, or looking at
The
another one of
panda
these,
dryer.
this is going to be a popular panda dryer. Yeah, I think
people
because
have to pay
no,
for
no,
it.
no.
I don't know. I
If
wouldn't
you're
pay
under
for
the
it.
bucket and all of a sudden you're uncomfortable, I would pay for the panda dryer.
I wouldn't pay for the panda dryer. I would rather just dry off, especially in 90-degree, heat.
What if it's winter? You
Well,
never
I'm
know.
not going to do it, and I'm not going to be under there like if it's 60 degrees.
Not everyone is wise as Denise. Like me, I could maybe end up needing that panda dryer. Anyway, I agree. I enjoyed DreamWorks Land very much. I think it's better than what was previous there, at least from what I remember. And I look forward to getting back to Universal and seeing the mega movie parade. That looks really, really great.
I agree too. We have been trying for a couple of weeks to see this parade. We were going to go even yesterday, and it's like, oh, the weather is just, I'm not sure on that weather. And we know somebody who tried like 3 times and didn't even.
I think they finally saw it in the
Oh,
4th
good.
attempt. So
Oh,
we'll
good.
get there.
Right.
When we go, I want to be assured it's going to happen.
We don't want it to be like pouring for that time.
I heard
period.
at a certain time of the year it's going to play earlier, so I look forward to that time. I
But-
don't know when it is, but I look forward to that.
But like later on in the, once it's September, once it's like November,
And we're not waiting that long. We want to see it.
Right, but you're not going to get that type of rain. I forget. I don't know if they have an end date to it, and they might. And I don't have it in front of me if they do. So
It might
that's something
be.
I'll have to
I
look
think
at.
it might end when Christmas comes because they'll
Okay.
have the Christmas parade at that
Okay.
point. And so it's probably a temporary end, and then it'll come back
Right.
just like at Disneyland Paris.
Well, we will see it
We
eventually.
will see it.
Maybe it will be this
cannot
week.
wait
We'll
to see it actually.
So that is another show.
And thanks to our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel.
Check them out. They do Universal. They do Universal FAM. FAM events so that they can familiarize themselves with the not only the parks but the resorts as well. There's so many resorts at Universal as well, really good ones. And we need to head over. We haven't been over to Cabana Bay in quite some time, and that was such a fun. Really,
I can't wait to go. I can't. If we would have been there so many times,
Right.
had the weather, had it
We're
been
just trying to see the parade, especially.
right, because normally we would go early,
Right.
But for the parade, it's not till 6, so we want to go later. But then every time we have plans to go, not only a little rain, big rain with like hail and lightning, like it's just we're doomed for getting to that. But we will get it. I will never give up. I want to see this thing. Also, I want to say, it'll be a big week next week with, we have this giant box in the other room. Right now we're going to go and open it finally from Disney Cruise Line we mentioned before. The Disney Destiny. I'm very excited to see what lies ahead. I don't know what's going to be on the Disney Destiny, so hopefully we'll get some clues, and by next week, starting next Tuesday, we'll find out.
And that is set to set sail in December of 2025. We have the Disney Treasure first coming this December, which is very exciting as well. Also, I just wanted to say a shout out to Hope, who I ran into her and her family at Epcot, and I forgot her shout out last time, so I just
double
say that. double
shout out to Hope.
And
I wasn't even there. I didn't get to see them.
No, you didn't. You were not there with me, which, I was able to move about a lot quicker that way. Around Epcot. So,
anyway,
yeah.
Thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.